Mga kababayan, narito yung press conference ni incoming PCOO Secretary Trixie Angeles na unang patikim niya, mga kababayan. Nakaraan ay nag-interview siya sa kay President Bobo Marcos. Subalit ay ang pinagbigyan niya lang doon kasi ay yung mga media lang naman eh. 3 media ang pinagbigyan niya, GMA7. Ito ngayon, ang ginawa niya ay press conference talaga. At as in siya yung nagsasalita at yung mga media nagtatanong sa kanya. So titingnan natin ito, mga kababayan, kung talaga bang qualify o maganda yung boses. Hindi ko sinasabing hindi siya qualify. Qualify siya, pero tingnan natin kung maganda ba o kahanga-hanga o bagay sa kanya ang kanyang posisyon. Alam natin, hindi natin matawaran si Miss Trixie Angeles. Magaling na abogado nito. No? Magaling na abogado. Although mayroong may mga issue patungkol sa kanya. Pinaan ko lang itong konti, yung post ko muna. Alright, saan panoorin ninyo itong mga kababayan, itong patikim ni Miss Trixie Angeles. Let's go! Okay, so yan, panoorin natin.
Will there be a...
Ay, mali. So, wait lang. Kasi doon siya. I-start muna natin sa ano bang pinagsasabi. Ito yung dami yung issue yung nilalabas eh. Kasama na yung West Philippines, arbitrary ruling, etc.
Despite a campaign concurrent with the conflict in Ukraine, both sides also discussed the effects and impacts of the said conflict on oil, energy, and food security. President-elect Marcos cited France as a model for the PH in terms of energy sourcing and generation. Both sides discussed the economy and the plans in this area of the incoming administration. Some of the prospective activities to commemorate 75 years of Philippine-France relations were also discussed and briefly discussed towards the end of the meeting with the Indo-Pacific area and strategy, as well as issues of overseas Filipinos in France. The courtesy call, on the other hand, by His Excellency Luc Veron, head of the EU delegation to the Philippines, began with President-elect Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Ambassador Luc Veron discussing various issues on Philippines and the European Union relations, including development cooperation, which includes support for the peace process in Mindanao, plus trade, disaster prevention, rule of law, good governance, and human rights. They also discussed the situation in Ukraine and how it had been affecting Europe and the Philippines. We'll take questions after the second announcement. We have new designated cabinet nominees.
Ano?
The first of which is Maria Zenaida Angping for Secretary of the Presidential Management Staff. She comes with professional experience in the fields of public service and administration and international relations and diplomacy. She is a 3-term congresswoman who advocated legislative measures that promoted diplomatic relations, tourism, development, public health and education, women and children's welfare. She institutionalized necessary infrastructure that promoted sustainable self-reliance and empowerment, especially of the marginalized sector in the 3rd District of Manila. The next nominee is Mayor Cristina Frasco for the Secretary of the Department of Tourism. She is the incumbent mayor of Liloan in Cebu. She was awarded the prestigious Presidential Lingkod Bayan Regional Award by the Civil Service Commission in its 2021 search for outstanding government workers for her exemplary performance as a local chief executive through proactive initiatives towards innovation in governance and sustainable and inclusive programs fostering excellence in government service. She was a top-performing mayor in Central Visayas, ranking number 1 among the 116 mayors in the entire Region 7 and number 1 among all 44 municipal mayors in the province of Cebu. Next, we have for Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, Amena Pangandaman. She has over 2 decades of policy development in finance expertise, has led various government offices before landing the role of Managing Director of the Office of the Governor and Executive Offices of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in 2019. She is the former Assistant Secretary of the DBM and former Chief of Staff of the late Senate President Edgardo Angara. For Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications, DICT, the nominee is Ivan John Enrile Uy. He's an expert in technology law, well experienced in information technology project management, and served as chairman of the Commission on Information and Communications Technology for the Philippine government. He oversaw the formulation of the Philippine Digital Strategy from 2011 to 2016. He is an international commercial arbitrator on areas involving IT-related disputes. And finally, as Secretary for the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Mr. Erwin Tulfo. He has been in the public service doing social work in 3 decades, awarded Best Public Service Program Host. He is a 2014 SM Super meaning Salute to Unparalleled People, Endeavors, and Resources Award for media for his coverage of Typhoon Yolanda. He is known for his involvement in covering and helping the Filipinos here and abroad through his social programs and partnership with other organizations. And that's it. We'll take a few questions. Hang on. Yes, Greggy. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any venue for the inauguration for the president-elect?
All right, we have no information yet. I think they're still in the process of making some crucial decisions. So right now, no, I'm sorry, no information as of now. But we will inform you as soon as we get the information on the inaugural.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Just for comment purposes, the basis again for the selection of the cabinet.
You want me to read them again?
No, ma'am. I mean the
Generally, for their experience in public service and proven service records.
Ma'am, Alice would like some information on consequence. I have a question about Senator Amy Marcos and her role in the President-elect Marcos' administration. Will she have a similar role to Bongo has in the President Duterte's administration as a sort of special assistant to the President?
The role of special assistant to the president has already been filled.
Yes, but she has sort of touted herself or self-nominated herself as like the super sister of the president.
Oh, she really does not need to nominate herself. She is the super sister of the president. So she will remain presidential sister as far as we can see.
But will there be a special role for her? Will she have a special role in the administration?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask Senator Amy that. Right now, she's a sitting senator. Yes, ma'am.
Nga nga.
Appointments sa Senate, yung mga officials from Comelec, COA, aside po ni Senator Zubiri, gusto lang daw niya nabigyan ng free hand yung next administration na pumili at kumilatis ng mauupong officials. Meron po bang plano si DBM na mag-appoint ng panibagong mga tao sa
Well, we have not been informed of any plans yet. As far as I know, since this is a late development, we will have to refer to the President-elect. Perhaps we'll come up with a statement as soon as possible.
Attorney, what about the DOE, Energy Department? Parang may lumabas na si Congressman Marcoleta raw po.
I'm afraid, unless we've made the announcement, nothing is final yet.
Ma'am, the 5 cabinet secretaries you mentioned, have they accepted already? Or
Yes.
Are they
Wala pa po.
Ma'am, I have a question about dun sa meeting with the EU representative.
Yes.
Considering the European Parliamentary Resolution in last February issued a resolution calling for the abolition of the NTF-LGAP and amendment of the Anti-Terrorism Act, will there be a heightened monitoring of the Philippines' compliance with the GSP Plus conditions?
Will there be a...
Heightened monitoring of the Philippines' compliance with the GSP Plus
I'm afraid no policy has yet been set on that. As you know, the president is still president-elect. So such a policy will have to be formulated once official communications have been made and he is actually the sitting president. Okay?
Communication down reports that inalok daw ni President-elect Marcos si President Duterte ng role as drug shark.
Oh, that was during the interview he conducted, the first interview, post-proclamation interview. His words were, it wasn't a formal invitation, but if he should want to, then that, he certainly would be considered.
Any last question?
Yes?
Ma'am, may bagong report yung PMTI.
I'm
Sa
sorry.
Maritime Transparency Initiative, may
Yes.
na-report silang dalawang insidente ng pangaharas ng China Coast Guard at Malaysia sa Filipino vessel sa Ayungin Shoal nitong April. Ang sabi ng director ng PMTI, the long-term plan for China seems to be to make it so dangerous and costly that the Philippines abandons the Sierra Madre, nakasadsad na pagpupulot sa Ayungin Shoal. Now my question is, will the Marcos admin pull out our personnel in DRP Sierra Madre or stay lang yung mga soldado natin doon despite ng ganitong harassment in China?
President-elect Marcos's foreign policy has not changed, but since this is new information, we'll have to get a further statement, if ever, on that one. For the moment, he's not yet the sitting president, so these matters should be addressed first by President Rodrigo Duterte.
Ma'am, follow-up po dun sa China question. Because nagbago, from the campaign, sabi kasi ni President-elect Marcos, hindi na available sa atin yung late ruling. But in the interview with you there, sinabi niya, he will use the arbitral ruling. What changed? Nag-change ba? And should we see this as a pivot to the U.S.?
The foreign policy has not changed, but as of the moment, since he is not yet the sitting president, the details will have to be worked out when he is actually the architect of our foreign policy. All right, thank you very much.
So yan mga kabayan, maganda yung mga sagot ni Miss Trixie Angeles. Medyo maingat maganda. Kasi maingat siya, na lalo na kita natin yung media. Puro tanong ay patungkol na kay President Bongbong Marcos. Alam naman natin, hindi pa nakaupo nga itong si President Bongbong Marcos. President Duterte ang still the president ngayon. No? Kung ano mga nangyari ngayon sa panahon ngayon, itong month na ito ay nasa poder pa rin ni President Duterte. Walang kinalaman doon si Bongbong Marcos kasi pagka baba ni President Duterte, doon na mag-i-start yung pananagutan ni President Bongbong Marcos. Ngayon sa ilalim pa yan ni President Duterte. Ano yung mga bato nila na sa April, pero yung sinabi ng isang reporter patungkol sa West Philippine Sea, Sierra Madre, kung ano mang sinasabi, ay hindi naman dapat niya paura-urada, dapat mag-ingat. Kasi alam mo mga kababayan, mahirap magkagera. Mahirap. Ang yabang, mahirap maging mayabang na wala naman kang ipinagyayabang. Wag tayong tularan yung ginagawa ng Ukraine. Sayang ang buhay mga kababayan, sayang. Wag yung okay lang yung makipaglaban basta kung kaya natin mahalin mo yung buhay mo muna, di ba? Mahalaga yung buhay mga kababayan. Makipaglaban tayo sa tama, sa legal na paraan, di ba? Yan. So, pag-upo ni Bongbong Marcos, alam naman natin, napakarami niyang kakaharapin na problema. Itong problema na dulot ng pandemya ay si Bongbong Marcos yung sasaluyan mga kababayan sa bigat. Imagine mo, utang natin ay 13.1 trillion pesos. Sa loob ng 2 taon, ay umakyat tayo. Nakaraan nag-start ng pandemya 11 trillion. So ngayon nag-add tayo ng 2 trillion pesos. Napakalaking halaga mga kababayan. Masakit sa ulo kung inventory isipin mo yan. Where you go? Parang mga ganun kung saan pumunta. Pero alam naman natin kung saan pumunta. Ginamit sa mga proyekto, mga pangtulong, di ba? No question yan. So kung bigyan natin ng issue, hindi mahirap na. Wala naman tayong prueba. So lalo na pagbibili ng, alam ko tumaas yung utang natin dahil sa pagbibili ng PPE vaccine na nakakalungkot na napakaraming na-expire hanggang itong katapusan ngayon, May 30. O hindi kaya, itong incoming na June ay ayon sa balita ay halos 2 million na doses na ma-expire na 2 million times mo na sa 500 pesos ilang 1 billion mga kababayan, sayang, di ba? Nakakalungkot talaga. Imagine mo na 2 million times sa 500, ilan ba? O palagay natin 1 million times 2 million times 100, ilang million na. Napakalaki. So yan lang muna mga kababayan, yung medyo hindi exciting at hindi medyo nakakagulat na balita. Parang si Internet Amelia, yung show niya na pinakamabagal sa balat ng lupa. Atin yan ang pinaka-kingkoy na balita. Ay nako, so yan lang muna mga kababayan. Maraming salamat and good afternoon.